Good evening, and welcome to another melancholy edition of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your introspective and pensive host, Voice of Doom. Thank you, announcer. I have no topic and I have no plan. Just want to do a little diuretic stuff that may be of interest, but it won't be because nobody watches. So I'm going to just wallow in self-pity because why not? I mean, I'm on the planet, and if I want to wallow, I'll wallow. I mean, why not? Everybody says, don't feel sorry for yourself. And it's like, well, do all kinds of things. Be happy, swim in a lake, play in a band, jam with people, paint a painting and wallow if you want to wallow. So I'll wallow. And it's basically like it's been like 2 months since I started this diatribes, and I probably said a lot in there if people really looked at the videos. I mean, I know it's 15 minutes each, and there's like 80 of them. So what is that, like 20 hours? I mean, I know nobody wants to devote 20 hours to watching my idiocy and ranting, even though they might watch, Johnny Depp and the Pirates of the Caribbean, or binge watch Dexter, which are good productions, but, you ask people, look at what I have to say, and they say, yeah, they will, but they don't. And most people don't do what they say. And I've always made it a rule in my life that if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. But I don't say I'm going to do much because I know I have to commit to it. So it works out well. You just decide what you will do and then say you're going to do it and then do it. It's a good rule of thumb. But yeah, wallowing. I thought I'd backtrack since it's been 2 months. Sorry about the nasal problems. But, September, late September, it's melancholy for me now because I'll look back and say, yeah, that's when I knew I was facing a slow death. And if you look back at my videos of 2020, you will understand that by September 28th, I knew things were going to go bad. And I wish I had started diatribes back then because things might have been different. I don't know how, but my life is very different than what it was before. So I wanted to go back to I kind of put a folder of my old crap. My first show, I talked about the pressing issues that we're facing as a country or what have you today. And it's interesting because I went over it again. It's like some are still issues and some are not even being thought about and some are up at the top where they were at the bottom. So what I had was, here are the issues we have to solve. Delta variant, vaccines, Chinese aggression, border and chaos, rampant crime, undermining authority, dysfunctional government, hyperinflation, cartel controls U.S. border, human trafficking, fentanyl killing thousands, media apathy, complicity and collusion, social media monopolies, critical race theory, racism, white supremacy, transgender women in sports and bathrooms, fake news, masks or no masks, Green New Deal, cyber attacks, national debt, and at the bottom I had terrorism, which was almost an afterthought back in July. And now it's at the top. And I find that interesting because every single problem that I just mentioned has gotten worse, just as I predicted. And any idiot would predict it because we have an idiot that is in charge of the administrative branch of the U.S. government. And that's a concept that's losing its meaning because the world's going on without Petri dish. I'm going to go into politics and I'm going to wallow and I'm going to do all kinds of things because it's just not one of those shows that has any kind of cohesion. And maybe that's going to be one of the better shows. I don't know. But I just watch everybody talk about the election and how we're going to solve this or solve that. And it's like people have to start really looking hard at the big picture of how are we going to really solve everything, because the world is very complicated. I've said it over and over again. There's 200 or more different countries all vying for their own little, advantage. And it could work to everybody's advantage if everybody worked together. It's very simple. This Earth could be a very beautiful place. It's a beautiful planet. Beautiful. And it's very balanced. But we're ruining it because we are tampering with nature in every sense of the word. We're tampering with human nature. We're tampering with nature itself. And I could get deeper, but I don't have the lucidness to do it. It's nature. It's the way the Earth, in the solar system, in the galaxy, in the universe, is in a certain rhythm. And things went on for millions of years to where we evolved to this point. We're very lucky. We're extremely lucky to be at this point. And yet we're squandering it, and everybody kind of knows it because we have it so good. And we could keep it good, but we have tribes. And that was the main theme of my show. Diatribes, 2 tribes. And you can take the 2 and cut them into 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and have 10 billion tribes. And then when you have 10 billion tribes, each person is their own tribe. Well, maybe that's the answer. I don't know. I do know. But it's going bad, and I don't like to see these guys quibbling and quabbling about horses and the infrastructure bill. I'm going to do an economic thing that will set everyone straight on how that whole thing is a boondoggle of the highest order. A boondoggle that causes planets to become asteroid belts. Because it's nothing but a power play. And anybody that's watched politics since 1960, pretty much 5, maybe 6, is when I started noticing what was going on. It's a boondoggle for power, to be in control. You have that job with the perks, and they're not that great. The perks aren't that great. It's the name, I'm a senator. I'm a former senator. I'm going to get on boards. I'm going to write books. I'm going to go on tours. I'm going to give speeches. My future is set. I got my, 401k, and I got my, pension from being a governor. Come on. Spending money ridiculously. Take it down to the lowest. Take it down to the municipal stuff, the chief of police or the fire department officials or the board of education officials. They all get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then they get pensions worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it broke America a long time ago. And people are just going to start waking up to that fact now. I mean, I heard that you could get 10 chicken McNuggets for $8 at McDonald's. And when I heard that, I went, everybody thinks that's nothing. And it's like, that's like cataclysmic to me, because that's talking about hyperinflation. Big time. You guys don't understand what that could mean. Nothing like the 70s. It's talking about empty shelves, and truckers ain't happy either. So while I wallow, I will terrify you about the future. What else can I say, just off the top of my head? Well, we have Petri dish, and he is more idiotic every day, and he is actually stabbing himself in the back to try to save himself. So that's really smart. He's a real bright guy. I will lambaste my security force on the southern border because it's a good thing to do, because somebody told me to do it. That's going to work out well. I can see internecine strife. That is an old term that you might have heard about if you knew about 13th century Japan, which most people don't know about. Internecine strife. The leaders are pissing off the lower echelons, and suddenly it's going to come to a head, and you watch what happens, because it's going to be a very cold and lonely winter. It's going to be loggerheads. And I'm telling you right now, I'm the voice of doom, and I know what's going on. And these guys are talking about trivial pursuits. Their money's meaningless. Don't they see that now? 3.5 trillion plus another 1.5 trillion, whatever. It's like, oh, our children and grandchildren, they're not going to pay. You think they're going to, okay, we got to pay the bill now. Look at all the 45 trillion dollars we got to pay back. Who are they going to pay it to? How are they going to pay it? Come on, get with it. There's not going to be money like we understand it in the near future. It's obvious. And where was I? I was wallowing about my own thing. Just nobody watches this. It's brilliant. I think I'm drunk, kinda, and I said a lot. I don't know if anybody thinks I said anything. I think I did. I tell you about how the world's going, and nobody wants to think about it because it means toilet paper and hunkering down. I don't know. It had no meaning. There was no topic. But I kind of said what I wanted to say. Getting it off my chest. Nobody will watch it anyway, and I'll wallow some more. So, good night.